Hello, Ben. You are up last.
Mark, how you doing?
How's it going, Ben? Ben, you got your video on there. I can see you. Not necessary, but you look familiar. Have we ever played before together?
I don't think so. Played a lot
Okay.
of Limit Hold'em back in the day, but
Limit Hold'em. Wow. Wow, unbelievable. They don't even spread Limit Hold'em that much anymore, unless you're like, I guess, in the Bay Area or at LA.
they do not, and that's why I started playing No Limit Hold'em about 6 years ago.
Yeah. So where are you playing out of?
I'm at Rivers Des Plaines.
Okay, in Chicago. Oh, don't they still have? They used to play horse at the Horseshoe, didn't they?
Yeah, that game died. Everything's pretty much died there. It's all No Limit and ELO now.
Okay, so Rivers Display. And so what's the size of the game?
So it's 5-5-20.
5-5-20?
Yeah, so there's no 5-10 game today. There was two 5-5s, and all the 5-10 regs were playing 5-5, so they bumped it up to 5-5-20.
So 5-5-20, but so it's a three blind game, but it just happens to be the 20. It's not 5-10-20, it's 5-5-20.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess that doesn't really change. I mean, you just treat it like 5-10-20, I guess, right?
Yeah, it doesn't change much.
What's the buy-in cap?
So 2K cap though on the 5-5 versus the 5-10's a 5K cap.
So a little bit shallower.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a great, anytime, if you're really skilled at trying to make the most amount, even if you're not necessarily the best poker player, you can actually be really good at live poker and make a lot of money at live poker. And, game selection, getting into games where you kick it up is a skill in itself. So anytime you can kick up a smaller game is usually pretty good if they're a bunch of 5-5 players.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of a mix here because the 5-10 breaks are playing the 5-5 game today.
Okay, how deep are you?
3K effective.
All right, so 3K effect. Okay, start us off here.
So this is a six-handed game right now. Like a lot of people are moving around. There's a must move going on. So we're six-handed. I'm in the hijacker under the gun with Jack of clubs, Jack of hearts.
So hero, hijack, Jack of clubs, Jack of hearts. Okay.
Yep. I raise it to 50. It's kind of been the standard open at this table.
2.5x. Okay.
Yeah. The button calls. The small blind raises to 175.
So button calls, small blind 3-bets to 175. That's kind of small after a button call, huh?
It is kind of small. It kind of surprised me a little bit. And this villain, haven't played with him for like 6 years, but he's pretty solid. Regular 5-10 player.
I mean, I kind of want, so it gets folded back to you. Is it getting it folded back to
you?
Yeah,
it gets folded back to me.
Kind of want a 4-bet here. I mean, drive the button out of the hand. It just seems really, really small. I don't know if it's like a misclick or he's trying to do something here. At 3K effective from open to 2.5x call, and then I'm just going to go up to like 8x. It just seems small. I kind of want a 4-bet here. Did you think about 4-betting?
I did think about 4-betting. Coming from, limit hold'em player, I like to play aggressively, and I'm got myself into trouble 4-betting a lot of these hands, like 10s and jacks. And so I decided just to call this time.
Well, you understand though, like you're incentivized to 4-bet because you got the guy behind you.
Especially with the guy behind me.
And also because the 3-bet size is so small and you're going to call, the button's going to get odds. So, I mean, I'd be very, very surprised. You said that you just called. I assume the button called behind you.
The button does call.
Oh, right. Because that's going to happen like a shit ton, right? With these pot odds. So this is why this leaned towards a 4-bet, because obviously Jack here is much better to be playing heads up in position than in the middle. And of course, the reason why that is because like now that if you go three ways here and the board comes out like king high and the guy c-bets, it's really hard or even ace high and the guy c-bets, you're not really supposed to be doing a whole lot of fending there in the middle. It's just really hard to realize equity and you can get blown off the best hand here some of the time. But small blind to 175, hero calls in the hijack, button calls, and we've got 520, maybe 550 with the blinds.
550.
All right. So 550 here. Okay.
Yep. So we get the flop, 6 of clubs, 6 of spades, 7 of hearts.
7-6-6 rainbow. Okay.
Yep. Pretty good flop for me. But the small blind still bets 200.
All right. So the small blind bets 200. You know what's interesting about this too? Well, small blind bets 200, which is a little over 1/3 the size of the pot. I do wonder here if, because of his small 3-bet sizing and both guys are in, I don't feel like this is always going to be a bet. And I do wonder if some overpairs actually check here. I mean, I guess a 6 isn't represented as much as if it was like 998 or something like that. But you do have to take that into account if you, for some reason, were the small blind and then you're like, well, this guy's opening this percentage, but he's defending almost 100%. Both guys are going to defend almost 100% because they use such small sizing. But he does not bet super small on the flop. Seems to me like you got to call. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't want to blow your hand and overplay your hand. You see kind of what the button does behind you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just called.
Okay, so hero calls, and
I get good news. The button folds.
All right, so button folds out. So now the pot is what, 950?
Yep.
All right.
And the queen of clubs on the turn.
All right, so queen of clubs on the turn, 7 of hearts, 6 of spades, 6 of clubs, queen of clubs on the turn, brings in a backdoor club draw. Hero has jacks, by the way, with the jack of clubs. Okay.
And the small blind bets 600 now.
Well, I still think you have to call here if the small blind is competent, in the sense that this is a disconnected high card that's going to be bluffed a lot. And I mean, obviously it's actually slightly worse that you have the jack of clubs here, because of the fact that if you're structuring correctly, he has slightly less backdoor club types of holdings here. 600 into 950, the pot's going to be like 2150. You guys are going to, if you call, the pot's going to be 2150, and you're going to have what, like about 2000 left in your stack if this sets up?
Size bet bluff. I mean, I'm thinking like, he could have ace queen, but like I'm ahead of still a lot of hands here. 8s, 9s, 10s, potentially, ace king. Feel like I'd have to call for sure.
I don't know if 8s, 9s, 10s necessarily takes this type of sizing. I would be very surprised if this guy actually is taking this sizing with a worse value hand than yours. I would be surprised. I suppose it's possible, but I would be surprised. And again, it kind of comes down to the fact that you have called in between with a guy behind you on the flop, which would tend to discount some of your like really light ace high peels, I feel like.
Right.
I think it's more of like an issue of he's just barreling as a bluff with like ace 5. It's like one of these ones where you could have like ace 5 of hearts, right? Structured a C bet, and now it's a disconnected high card.
Yeah, exactly.
But so you call.
But I called. I continued.
All right. So Hatter's House 710 says, give a speech and call. Oh, it's interesting. I'm never really great at speech play like Eric Person.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to bet again? Like, I'll call, but only if you move all in on the river or something. You know what I mean? Something weird like that. All right. So 2150, right? Is that right? So small blinds, hero calls, 2150. All right. So 7, 6, 6, queen, backdoor clubs. Okay.
And the king of spades hits the river.
King of spades.
And he takes a long time, like 30 to 45 seconds. It felt like a really long time because I didn't really want him to bet this, and it felt like a really, really long time. And then he bets 1300. So didn't go for all of it, a little less than 2/3, I guess.
Well, 7, 6, 6. Well, you guys can see the common thread amongst all these live stream hands here on this particular live stream episode. 7, 6, 6, queen, king. Here's the thing I'm going to say about this is that I think the better the player, the harder it is to actually call here. Now, you might say, well, the better player might have some bluffs more often or be structuring correctly versus a weaker player. While that might be true, the better player, though, still can make thin value bets that just absolutely kind of like crush your hand. If he had a hand like king, jack, something like that, any type of king, I don't know if he's always c-betting like ace king. I mean, this really becomes a slam dunk value bet. The only question is sizing. It seems to me that this should sort of be sized at like 1/3-ish I would think 700 to 800 almost. I feel like with a ton of hands. So the 2/3 sizing here at the end is a little bit on the strange side. Like, for example, like if I had pocket kings here, I would not take this sizing. Or pocket queens or something like that. That's why I kind of want, if I'm him, I kind of want a size sort of smaller. Is that where you started to get curious here with his sizing?
Like, what hands does he have here? Like ace, okay, ace king, aces, maybe aces, right? And then he doesn't do this with ace queen, I don't think. It's too big with ace queen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so again, sometimes we talk about the live paradox of live poker, but this is maybe even be correct theoretically. If he had bet 800, even before you tell us what you're going to do you think you're going to fold more for 800 here as opposed to like 1300?
I'm not sure. I mean, I thought about like if he chose an all-in sizing, I might have folded actually. So, but
if he chose an all-in sizing,
yeah, an all-in sizing, I think I might have folded.
I mean, the thing about all-in sizing though is it really does start to polarize, and then again, the theory says that you get a worse price, right? I mean, you had what 2,000 left in your stack, right? So you get a worse price if he bets 2,000. But then when you're not playing against like skillful players, you're like, what is he doing this with here? If he's never going thin here in a certain situation, and sometimes actually betting smaller and making the sizing look more value, it actually gets more fold equity. I'm just a little bit confused at the 2/3 sizing here, and it is one of those things though where if you first of all, you never have ace king. I assume you're going to 4-bet ace king almost always pre-flop.
Yeah, I'm never gonna have ace king here. Just call. There's no way I can have ace king.
So can you have ace queen here? And this is where it comes to the multi-way nature of this. Like, if you don't 4-bet ace queen off here. Now you didn't 4-bet jacks, right?
Yeah, I might even 4-bet ace queen though, potentially.
Well, I'm just saying, like, let's say that you have ace queen here some of the time that you don't 4-bet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people sometimes call me nitty multi-way, but I think that's a fold on the flop. Obviously, it's never a fold heads up, but you got the button behind you, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a tough call on the flop, unless I have like backdoor.
Right. Yeah, some sort of suited type of hand. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, though, is because you're not going to have ace king. You obviously don't have aces. You don't have kings. You don't have queens. All those hands are 4-bet off.
Right. My range is really capped.
So now what are you left with here in terms of like, how are you playing like these hands? You're left with what? Quad sixes, which is stronger than your hand. Sevens full, which is obviously stronger than your hand. This actually kind of makes a point though, too, when obviously you didn't double flat here, but I always talk about like, whenever you get into a situation where you double flat in the field, double flatting means like you call a raise, let's say that somebody opened, you called in the hijack, somebody 3-bet, and then you called. So you double flat. You are in a very collapsed situation where if you're up against a good player, you actually have to call down lighter because you get into situations that I actually find similar to here, where there's just a bunch of hands here that you're never going to have because you didn't 4-bet pre with the guy behind you, right, to this sizing. Again, aces, kings, queens, probably not ace king. I don't even know if you have ace queen as a peel on the flop with a guy behind you. So this one might be one of the stronger hands that I would say, like, arrive here with. But at the same time, what is really the difference between jacks and having pocket eights here if he's not value betting 9s and 10s in between? You know what I mean? So, I suppose you could get curious, but if this guy shows me that he's capable of, here's the thing, like if he had ace queen here, again, obviously king queen is very easy value bet, right? King queen.
Yeah, I think so.
So say he starts king queen, with a backdoor, he hits a queen, there's a king. So that's no doubt about it. Aces, ace king, ace queen, if it started a C bet, or some sort of queen that started a C bet, like say queen jack suited with a backdoor. Again, the thing there is that it very well might be a value bet. Like if I had queen jack or ace queen that started a C bet on the flop, I might find a value bet here at the end, but it wouldn't be for this sizing though. I wouldn't think, unless you're going to be forced to call down with like 8s or 9s or 10s. It would suck if he takes something very, very thin that you weren't expecting here.
Yeah. Well, I ended up calling. So and I got the good news. He showed ace 10 of diamonds.
Ace 10 of diamonds.
Yeah. He was just going for it.
So, and do you think it was a good call?
That's why I put this one in, right? I thought about it a while on the river. I'm like, just like value range is pretty narrow. But I mean, I don't know. I think he knew I was probably a little bit shot taking too, short-handed. I don't know. I think it was an okay call.
Ramsey Romero says calling with 8-8 through 10-10 is better. Jacks are the worst, as ace jack and jack 10 are the most likely bluffs for the villain, or I guess some ace 10. Brett CB says today's lesson: never fold. Never fold. That's an interesting one. Again, I just like I think it's a 4-bet pre, and I think you probably do. It's probably close on the turn. Now, if the river is a king of clubs, are you going to fold out here? Or excuse me, the king of clubs.
Yeah. No, the flush card, yeah, probably. I mean, it's got to look like I could have clubs too and have a jack of clubs, but I think it's a harder call if the flush gets there.
Yeah. Well, interesting one. Nice call.
All right. Thanks, Bart.
Thank you very much.